Do the pledge of allegiance. Chief Wynn lead us in that.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Johnny, have you do roll call?
Justin. Alexis.
Here.
Jessica.
Here.
Matthew.
Here.
Shy.
Here. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes, March 11th, 2025, the regular council meeting. No corrections or changes. I just need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Jessica makes a motion.
I'll second.
What's the seconds?
Alexis.
Yes.
Jessica.
Yes.
Matthew.
Yes.
Shy.
yes,
Next item on the agenda is approval of the special city council meeting March 18th, 2025. No corrections or changes. Just need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Todd makes a motion.
I'll second.
Matt seconds.
Alexis.
Yes.
Jessica.
Yes.
Matthew.
Yes.
Shy.
Yes,
Next item on the agenda is public comment. Does anybody in the public got anything to say? I do like looking out there and seeing a lot of you guys. I appreciate you coming, spending some of your time with us tonight. It's very appreciative. Nobody's got anything? All right. Public hearing will be closed. The next item on the agenda is new business. Be resolution 2025-6. Bill, would you read that resolution?
Resolution selecting and appointing Fox Rothschild as special counsel for the city of Highville, Arkansas.
So what this is, this has to do with the whole airport bill. This is our bonds are taken care of in the language of that Arkansas law that got passed, the ex-nate can be annexed out, escrow or sales tax and stuff. What this law firm that we're hiring is he's going to look at all of our other contracts, trash, water, sewer, all that other stuff, and make sure that this law is not going to affect any of that stuff as well. So we just have to have a motion to go into contract with it.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Jessica makes a motion.
second,
Lexi, second.
Alexis.
Yes.
Jessica.
Yes.
Matthew.
Yes.
Shy.
yes,
Next item on the agenda is resolution number 2025-7.
Resolution selecting professional accounting firm to perform federal single audit.
So this is for our ARPA funds that we received that we're putting in the NACA line on. We got that grant, and then we also got the loan for the 2.7 million for that. And so ARPA requires us to have it audited. So, and I'll let Tiffany stand up here and talk about 3 companies that submitted their qualifications for it, tell you which one that she likes and why.
Okay, so for the three companies that we got, all of them are very well qualified. I spoke with different cities that work with them. They all love one of these. So broke it down to cost. The most expensive is Jacobs and Company, anywhere from 18.5 to 22.5. And if any unforeseen work arises, their, impact fees, they'll be discussed with receiving going to be a rate of $185 per hour on top of this. Thomas, Spite, and Noble CPAs, they're out of Jonesboro. It's 10,000 to 15,000, and the fees based on actual time spent plus out-of-pocket expenses such as traveling. And then there's PRZ CPAs, and that's in Bentonville. Their base fee is $8,000. And they'll have some mileage costs, but again, they're the closest one to us. And then if they have to do an extensive research cost, there'll be an additional for that. So based on the financials, I would think PRZ would be the best one for us.
Do we know, like I know that it says that they'll have additional costs if it improves, do we know what that is at? Like the other one was at an hourly rate, do we know what theirs is at?
That would be something they would come back to us and discuss, and we would make an amendment to our agreement.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for me?
So the one you're recommending is the PRZ?
Yes.
Thank you.
Council got any questions about that? They got another recommendation?
I'll make a motion to accept PRZ.
Jessica makes a motion to accept PRZ.
I'll second.
Next second.
Alexis,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Matthew,
Yes.
Shy,
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is department and committee reports. No, after the storm, I think the department heads got things to say.
Hey, good evening, council. Just a quick update. As far as roads were concerned, we only had 2 complaints during the whole flooding issue, which I think is amazing, seeing how phones used to ring off the hook prior to Mayor Holland taking over. The 2 issues were obviously the Duke and Douglas area. What we did for a temporary fix until we move forward with our engineered plans did seem to help a little bit, but there's still just a lot of water. I think, what was there, 1,700 acres that drains to that area. So we saw where we were still lacking during the flood, and we're gonna make some changes up there and move forward. Friday night, the treatment plant got hit by lightning. Took a direct hit. We were out from probably 5 o'clock at night to 1 o'clock the next morning, and then back around 8 to 2 on Saturday. We did start the insurance claim on that. There was a lot of equipment lost. There's going to be a lot of labor intensive smart guide PLC programming that needs to be done. So we'll get all that wrapped in and submit that claim, that insurance claim on that. Currently the plant is operational and running, but it's not running up to specs. It's running what I would call in bypass mode. So we're still doing what we can. The state's aware of our situation. And as soon as we get everything back online, we'll file that with the state. There should be no harm, no foul. But I did want to let you guys know that we are running in bypass mode right now. Guys, any questions?
Unfortunate part about that is our hookup to NACA is 3 to 4 weeks away. So all this money will be spent and be tore down. But well, I mean, it has to be fixed. There's no option right
They are making good progress now on the NACA line and the connection. I think it's going to come down to we're ready to pump, and NACA may say, hold on a minute, we need a couple of weeks, but I see that happening in about 2 months. So it's unfortunate, like Mayor Holland said, that we're gonna have to spend money to get everything back up and running on our existing plant, only for it to be decommissioned, but that's kind of the rock and the hard place we're at, so. If you guys have any questions, feel free to call, email, text. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Cody, you got anything? Blake? I know the fire department, police department was busy with calls during the storm. There was a structure fire. Couple of trees, a handful of trees down, power lines, power poles broken. So. Jeremy, you got anything?
Mayor,
next- Yes.
Mayor, sorry, I got a question for the police department. I know last month we met, Chief, you mentioned that there's been an increase in crime in our city. Also obviously attributed to partially to the growth, but also in cyber crimes. I think you were gonna look at the numbers and kind of give us a little bit more texture around it so that we know what we're dealing with in the city. If you had a chance to do that or not yet?
I will plan to have that for you next month. There's been, there's a lot going on right now, if that makes sense, and we're very, very close to having all that ready for you, so. I
Yeah,
apologize. if I
appreciate it. No, I know
misconstrued.
you got a lot going on. I appreciate you keeping us safe.
We'll get it taken care of. Yes, sir. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else for me?
Thanks, Shy. You got any other questions, Shy?
No, that's it.
Next on agenda is the mayor's report. So we got a hay lease over on our land on North Holland, was at Center Street. And I'd like to redo that hay lease if you guys were okay with it. The last person that was renting it, we stage our equipment over there, our dump truck, backhoe, and we dig dirt out of the hillside there for all the roads. And kind of got complaining about that we've taken away as hay ground. So I canceled the lease when I first took office, and then we been wanting to redo it. So Jeremy and I broke out actually how many acres over there is hay ground versus timber, and we're the area that we don't want to lease out because we're on Dustin still stages all the equipment there and still digs out of the hillside. So it's roughly 18 acres, 18, 19, somewhere right in there. And I talked to a few farmers to see what the price of renting ground is for haying, and they all basically said about $40 an acre. Roughly that's about what it is. So that would come up to 720, somewhere right in there, which what was getting last time was $511. I think is what it was. So this will actually increase a little bit like that. But if you guys don't have a problem with what I just said, I want to kind of have Jay draw up to kind of specify what area, so we don't have this problem again. And, when you go into a hay lease, people usually want to rent that for 3 years, up to 3 years, because if they're going to come in and fertilize it, make the adjustments and spray and stuff, that's an expensive cost right there. If you guys are okay with having also Jay draw up in there, you can go into agreement from 1 to 3 years, 3 years at the max, 1 year's at least 1 year, but up to 3 years without having to renew it.
I'm fine with that.
Good. All right. If you guys are good with that, and I'll have Jay draw that up and present it to you guys next city council meeting.
What was the rate?
$40 an acre. So the Baptist church, want to do the fireworks again this year. And they've hit me up every year to park cars in the park and build the park with cars, which I'm not a big fan of that. Because kids play there, and then if the park gets rutted up, then we have to fix that. So I did ask a few citizens when I seen them out and about, not many, 3, 4, 5, and when I asked them their opinion of that, and they all told me the same thing. Like, when we come up to fireworks, we walk over I take my kid over to the playground. I don't want to weave in and out of cars, and then my kid playing catch with his little ball or kicking it. I won't be able to do that if I have cars in there. So this is a decision that I don't think I should make by myself. I should have, if you guys want parking in the park, then that's what we do, but I don't think we should have parking in the park. I've offered the Baptist church, you know, all the parking here at City Hall. And then we can open up the backside over here, have it dust and then put some gravel or something out if we think it's gonna be rainy. But we can park over there and then park, you know, they can back in to the ditch area of the park where people usually park at anyhow. We can probably get 50, 60 cars around the park that way. Probably another 20 or 30 up here, you know, and then we're actually gonna, Blake's supposed to try and get the contact to the guy that has the land on the south side of the park. It's just open field and see if you have a problem with us parking people out there as well. So, but like I said, I just wanted you guys to guide me on what you, if I'm thinking rationally on no parking at the park, or if you guys disagree with me or whatever, so.
No, I agree. I think we put a lot into our park and it is very beautiful, and I do think that is not safe. That people are playing, people last year put blankets down, and we're sitting over in the park area, so I think we should also keep that clear and I live across the street from the park, so I would also be willing to let people park in that dirt area that we have and the grassy area up there. I wouldn't have an issue with that.
My only question about allowing people to park on this side of the street is crossing the
So-
highway. That's a concern of mine.
So Blake, the PD was out there last year, as people did park over here a little bit,
Okay,
and the PD will shut down the highway as people come across.
okay, as long as we have.
Kind of how they
something.
did, people kind of parked down the road and they kind of shut that.
Yep.
Okay, I
Yeah,
agree with that.
So-
I would not like to use the park for parking. I mean, we open ourselves up to, like you said, repairs. That's the big thing in my mind is if something happens and damages are made, then we have to, you know, foot the bill for that expense, and that's not something that we're really needing to put ourselves in a position in right now. So I would say no to that.
Right there with them. Shai, you got any comments on that?
No, I agree with everything that's been said by the council. I guess only thing is, can we look at maybe down the road, potentially expanding parking in the park or maybe on the other side?
Yeah, like I said, you've got the track and then you have the ditch area that you can park a car long ways right there.
Mhm.
And ditch, it is not a deep ditch. I mean, it's kind of a easy slope ditch that we can
Yeah.
park the cars correctly. We can get quite a bit around there. As long
Yeah.
as they're just parking parallel. You know, if they're backing in, because usually around the fireworks, the PD has that road shut off anyhow.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think just as our city grows, probably be a good idea just to keep in mind in general about what we can do to allow for more parking because we have more and more events there and want to be able to accommodate. But nothing, I don't disagree with anything council said.
I agree with you. Okay. Then that's what, you know, that's what we'll do. We'll relay that back to the Baptist church and stuff. So, and just continue to work with them, park and stuff, and try to find new places to park. So, and the council knows this by now. I don't know if everybody else knows. We had a council member, Jack Lloyd. He was on our city council for 5 years, 6 years, I think. Maybe there's somewhere around there, but he passed away a few weeks ago. Jack was he was a very good council member. He listened, he guided this city, this council in good directions. He was also a principal at Bentonville High. Jack's gonna be truly missed. Like I said, there's just not enough words to express what kind of person Jack was, and we will miss him deeply up here. And with that being said, there will be a open council seat. It's in Ward 2, and we will be posting that after this meeting. And anybody that's interested, you just have to submit your application, call Tiffany in the office, submit your application, and just show up next, in the next council meeting and explain why you want to be on the council and stuff. So, but anyhow, with that said, like I said, if anybody knows Jack or his family, they're very good people. So we got the Easter egg hunt in the park, April 19th at 9 a.m. Our planning commission meetings Tuesday, April 22nd at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers. Our next city council meeting will be Tuesday, May 13th at 6. The Highfield Annual Community Cleanup is Wednesday, May 21st through Saturday, April 24th. I'm sorry, just say, yeah, May.
Yeah, that needs to be.
Yeah, April 21st. It's going to be a dumpster right up here like it always is. Just come up here and throw your stuff that you don't want anymore away. And we're going to do a fundraiser. The Tiffany and the park department's talking about doing a fundraiser for National Night Out. It's an event that the PD does and the city does up in the neighborhoods, Silver Meadows, Woodward Park and stuff. Last year, we didn't get as many donations as we was hoping. So we're gonna try to do like a little fundraiser this year and try to make it fun. The park committee thought of this and it's a really great idea. I thought I'm excited for it. I've already got my team signed up, but it's called Chicago Ball. It's kind of like softball. I don't know if anybody's ever played Chicago Ball, but you don't have to have a glove. It's a big old ball and you just underhand pitch it like softball. You hit it and it's just like softball, just a big old ball. And it's soft, so it don't hurt. You can catch it without a glove and stuff. I watched some videos on it today. It's pretty entertaining. But we're gonna do, I think it's $10 registration fee. We're gonna go up to 6 teams. Because each game takes about 45 minutes to do. And so
Point of clarification, that's $10 per person,
no, $10 for the team.
per team.
Yeah.
Okay.
So well, I think we're gonna have hot dogs, Tiffany.
Yep.
Yep, I have a vendor up there serving hot dogs, so it should be over with by 1 o'clock, somewhere in there. So if anybody, and that is going to be Saturday, June 14th at the city park. So if anybody wants to come watch me probably pull a hamstring, please come up, because it'll be pretty funny and it'll be a lot of fun. So
How
And
many
like I said,
people?
it's-
for a team?
so up to 10, I think. Up to 10 people, but you have to have at the minimum 3 females on your team
Okay.
What time?
at 8 o'clock in the morning.
So it's a fundraiser,
Yeah.
so we're raising the money from the teams joining?
Yeah, the teams, and then I think Shauna with Downtown Dogs. Tiffany, can you come up here? I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I think she's going to donate some of her proceeds that she
Okay,
gets
that's
that
what I was
day
wondering.
to the fundraiser.
So part of the money from the food is gonna be donated to National Night Out. And then also we're gonna have raffle items for people to bid on as well.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So it.
How many teams signed up already? Sorry.
We are just making the announcement tonight, so it'll go tomorrow out and hopefully we can get teams signed up right away.
Got it. Okay.
Public
Yeah.
Works on a team.
3, so we got 3.
I think city council should be a team myself.
Yeah.
I've got my family team, so we've got at least 3 or 4 teams already.
Oh, I'm down to whoop you guys out there.
I mean, I'll go look like an idiot in front of
That's
everybody,
what I-
so let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll be on someone's team,
Yeah, it's gonna
as
be
long as
fun.
they're okay with losing.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna win.
All right.
Any other questions
That's cool. So you'll put that out.
tomorrow?
I do have a question for
Okay.
you real quick if I can.
Yes.
I know that you and I sat and talked about the Hypo highlights.
Yes,
Did you ever figure out how we could put that link out so people could get signed up?
no, I'm still struggling with the website trying to get that.
Okay.
figured out.
I just thought of that because I was thinking of when the information goes out in the Hypo highlights,
No, I'm still trying to solve that issue.
internets.
The others?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You gotta go back to the individual work.
Oh, did I miss that? Oh, okay. Alrighty, so I gotta jump back up. I missed one real quick. It's on the committee reports. We have to approve the financials for March 2025. Thank you.
I missed it.
Anybody got any questions, concerns, comments about the financials? There's no concerns or questions. Just need a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Shot makes motion.
I'll second.
Lexus said.
Alexis,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yeah,
Matthew,
Yes.
Shy,
Yes.
Go back down. Next time on agenda is council discussions. Council got anything?
just randomly, did we ever get that extra line out for Tiffany?
She's looking into a phone, but she said with,
Still work in progress?
yes. Yeah, so I know you guys, probably, most of you know, we went down Little Rock again, fought, but lost that battle again. So we're waiting. I did, I guess XNA did send over the same deal again this afternoon, late at 5 o'clock pretty much is when I received it. So if it's the same deal, when I find that out, I will let the council know. And if it's the same deal of saying it's 900,000, but it's really $240,000, my recommendation would be, we can't take that. That's not the deal. But if it's a true $900,000, then that's a different subject. Before anything gets a decision or signed, we'll come back to the council again.
I was gonna ask on that, so when we met special meeting before and we voted on what we had agreed to, we presented that. Yes, to
Yes.
them, and then they just didn't, they just sent us back today, the same thing.
No, so what was agreed on in that room at the Capitol was the city high pool would, so our bonds are a waterfall, you know, there's a waterfall effect, and they're double barrel bonds, meaning that our water and sewer and our sales taxes both pledged to the bonds. So, and there's a waterfall, you know, so you have to pay the bonds, and then you pay everything associated with the water and sewer maintenance, stuff of that nature. And then after all that is paid, then the city in our bonds get to use all excess revenue for any lawful city business, paying wages, paving roads, keeping streetlights on, you know, everything that we do. You know, the airport said we illegally spent all this money. It's funny, we have audits every year, and not one time in the audit does it say that we illegally spend money. We don't do anything different than what we have for the last 25 years. So, I mean, all they're doing is just trying to confuse people to make them sound special, I guess. I don't know. But so that's how the waterfall works. So what we agreed to in that room was the waterfall effect would happen. Bonds would be paid for, everything would be paid, and then we would receive $900,000 out on top of the bonds being paid. And that was agreement. That's what Bart Hester, the senator, repeated to the news, and then he changed his mind. That's what Senator Penzo heard. That's what everybody in there heard, except for the airport said they didn't hear that. So
So they presented us an offer, we voted on that one, and then nothing has happened since then.
correct. They're still saying that their offer is in a roundabout way, we'll still get the $900,000, which is not a roundabout way true.
Right, because they essentially want to take the excess money and put it towards
The
more
bonds.
faster paying of the bonds.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
And what they said when they went down there in 23 was, hey, this is business as normal for Highfield. They'll have 14 years to adjust to this and adjust our budget, prepare for this. And if that was true, then that is true, like we would. But in all reality, I mean, that wasn't, they just didn't tell the truth all the time.
Right,
So their whole
I
goal,
remember.
was to basically essentially bankrupt the city.
So we don't need a vote for what they sent, because we've already denied that.
No, we voted for what we sent, what we voted on, and exactly what everybody else agreed to that was in that meeting. And before I sign anything again, or before I sign anything, period, it'll come right back to you guys and to make sure we're all kosher with it. You know, so, we'll wait and see, Talk is, I'm supposed to be talking to him tomorrow, so we'll, when I find out more, I'll let you guys know as well. So, and if we need to have a special city council meeting, we will.
Mayor, may I?
Yeah, hold on a second, does the council got anything else?
No,
I do not.
Shy, you got anything?
No, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Does the XNA board know that that original offer that you guys voted to approve, that you just spoke of, do they know that that is actively voted on and accepted and all they gotta do is agree to it?
So the board actually voted on, the way I understand, and Justin, he was at that meeting, so I don't want to speak out of turn, but what I read in the news.
Shy was also there.
Shy, oh yeah, Shy, you was there, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what the airport board voted on, is that the same thing that we voted on? And then it got switched going from the airport administration to us?
What the airport voted on was what they presented to us. But in their conversation, they said that it would be the conversation, what they sold internally was, no, that would be 900,000 to the city. And by the time it got to us, it was written in a way that, no, it'll be 200 to the city or whatever, like used to pay the bonds, and then the leftover from the 900,000 after they pay the bonds will be given to the city. So sounds like there was a little bit of a language change or interpretation.
Yeah, because in the contract they sent over in parentheses, it says, if any money's left over, how can you use that? I mean, that right there tells you that that's not the agreement that we agreed to.
And they were on our meeting when we voted for that. The special meeting that we had, they were all present via internet on the meeting, so they heard us vote, and I remember you distinctly saying what you just said and what Shai just said. It's the opposite of what we were told.
So when I find out more, the council will know just as quick as I do, so. Council got anything else?
I do not.
Shy, you got anything? Once again, thank everybody for coming. We sure appreciate it. Please come again. Keep on coming. We like seeing everybody out there. Make sure we're doing the job that you guys want us to do. So with that being said, I just need a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion.
Jessica makes a motion.
I'll second.
Makes a second.
Alexis,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Matthew,
Yes.
Shy.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks, Council.
Thank you, Mayor.